Welcome to episode 5 of my Road to Arena series. This kicking session is from January 14th, so we're about 12 days out from this film, from the Launchpad kickoff event. Here we are starting off with our no-step warm-up kicks, just working on getting our foot through the ball and just making good contact. Some things you don't always see at the local park is someone learning to parachute. This was a pretty light kicking session as I was planning on going to Luis's on Saturday, but we're just trying to get the legs swinging. It wasn't my best day of kicking as I started to do something weird with my arm later on. My left arm specifically, it looks like it's just kind of getting stuck and not flopping through there like it normally does, but just gotta notice those things and correct it next time. My left arm has never looked jankier in my life in these last 2 kicks, but I also finally figured out how to use iMovie. So going forward, hopefully these videos and edits are much better. Good morning. We are 1 week out from the Launchpad kickoff event, and today we're headed to the lab with Luis and Dejas, so I'll take you with me on my journey there. We had a large group today at the lab with Luis and Dejas, so he put us through a warm-up with everyone. We have kickers who are very young, learning how to kick, and me, who's an old man at this point compared to these guys. It's always good to get working with a group of people so you can share your knowledge and you can always learn something. Thank you to Luis and Dejas for allowing us to work here. It's always free and a great place. It was about 40 degrees this morning when we were kicking, so the field's a little wet too, which makes it a little difficult. You really have to focus on your plans, which we did, and we're just trying to get the legs swinging, feel smooth. Aim small, miss small as we get ready for the Launchpad kickoff event in about a week. Overall, I had a good Saturday of kicking at the lab, and I'm very grateful to Luis. And as we are about a week out, it's time to focus on preparing the body and getting ready for the event. After a day of kicking, we're here in the home gym, getting after it. These are some of the exercises I'll do to help keep the body moving well and just keep the hips feeling smooth and lubricated. First, we start off with our fire hydrant hip series. Everything in this video at this point is in 2 times speed, just because no one wants to watch this in slow motion, but this helps to keep your hips moving well and just keep them loose and feeling good. I learned this while I was in Wichita from a guy named Sheldon at the Parisi Speed School. Shout out to Sheldon. I actually learned a lot from him. He was very helpful. But this is very important because as a kicker, you need to be having your hips moving well, because if your hips don't move well, then you can't kick well, and you don't want that. We jumped some rope and did some stretching before we got into this part of the workout, but I didn't film that because obviously no one wants to watch me stretch or a grown man jumping rope. But it's important to stretch and make sure your body is moving properly before you get into any weights or movements, because you don't want to hurt yourself. As I've gotten older, I've learned that's very important to warm up properly. After we did our hips, we started with some Bulgarian split squats, just focusing on driving through our leg, feeling it in our glute, and keeping our chest upright. And I do these single leg. This was a lighter day, so I only have 20 pounds, but just trying to keep the legs moving, get a nice little pump in while my son's asleep. And we do 3 sets of 12 reps with the weight at this point for these. Next, we have single leg Romanian deadlifts with 20 pounds, just focusing on feeling a stretch in our hamstring and then squeezing our glute at the top. We do 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps, and this just helps to keep the hamstrings feeling strong. You don't want to have any muscle imbalances, so it's important that you train both legs equally, because as you kick over time, you will develop imbalances, and it's important to try to combat that so you don't have issues when you get older. Next, we're doing some Tibialis raises. This focuses on that muscle on the outside of your shin, and it just helps keep your ankles strong. It's usually a muscle people don't train, so it could cause shin splints and other issues. Because I'm kicking a lot, you want to make sure your ankles are strong because of all the force that's going through your plant leg. And I just don't want to be slower than my son for a while, so I got to stay fast and athletic as long as I can. And finally, we finish our workout with some abs. We'll do 3 sets of these hanging knee raises. I appreciate it if you've watched this far, and we're just excited for the opportunity to compete with some other free agents this weekend at the Launchpad kickoff event. Thank you for watching.